Why are there so many papers? Thank you for being fantastic. All right. I wonder how long that's going to play. That's not annoying. Okay. Hey, we're going to start off this morning with kind of a cool, different game. Well, I can hear me in this one too. But I need 2 volunteers to play the game. I need 2 people that want to win a prize. Max, come on up. Keely, come on up. Perfect. All right. Make some noise for Max and Keely. Put your hands together. Come on up. You stand right over here. And you come, Max, come stand right up over here. All right, so what we're gonna do this morning, and this is a crowd participation game. You guys got to help them out. So this side is Team Max, and you guys can do better, right? This side is Team Keely. Okay. So what we're gonna do? This is GIF charades, and what we're gonna do is you guys are gonna face forward and not look at the screens. We're going to show an animated GIF on the screen, and you got GIF, whatever you want to call it. I'm old, remember? You guys are going to act it out. You guys will do the charades for the video that you see on the screen. You guys are going to get an opportunity after. So they'll act it out. Then we'll show 3 options on the screen, and you guys have to decide which one you think it is. Whoever gets the most points will win a prize. Are you guys ready? You guys ready to try this? Okay. So you guys are looking forward. You're watching your teams. You guys watch the screen and act out what you see on the screen, and go. Okay, don't guess anything yet. Just watch. Just watch. Just watch. Don't guess anything yet. 5 seconds, and then you're going to guess. Okay. So now show them the options. The next slide. All right, look at this screen. Which one do you think it was? A, B, or C? Okay, since we're gonna let Keely guess first. Keely, A, B, or C? B. She guesses B. He guesses A. The correct answer is. Show it. Is B. 1 point for Keely. 1 point for Keely. Okay. Okay, all right, you got a chance. You can get back in it. All right, show the next one. Here we go. Okay, act it out. Act it out. All right, okay. So here are your options. Max, you get to pick first this time. A, B, or C? C. He picks C. Keely, A, B, or C? C. The correct answer is C. 2-1. Keely's still ahead. All right, next one. But he could have just picked what she said. Here we go. Act it out. This is so good. All right. So Keely, you get to pick first this time. A, B, or C? I need an answer. What do you pick? She picks B. Max? B. They both pick B. The correct answer is B. 3-2. Okay. Next one. Act it out. So good. Oh, yeah, so good. All right, Max, you get to pick first. A, B, or C? He picks A. Keely? A. They both pick A. The correct answer is? It is A. This is a great game. What? Okay. Sure, let's do that. Next one. It's 4-3. No, you don't look, cheater. Okay, act it out. Act it out. Let's go. All right, so on the count of 3. All right, here are your options first. Show them their options. Show them their options. Okay, those are your options. Look at me. On the count of 3, tell me your answer. 1, 2, 3. Both of them chose A. And the correct answer is? Purple. A. 5-4. 5-4. Okay, next one. Okay, act it out. You guys aren't helping her out. You got to help her out. Okay, 5-4. Here are your options. A, B, or C. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, A or C. And the correct answer is? C. We're all tied up, 5-5. Max is back in it. Okay, happy dance. All right, next one. Here we go. No, you look that way. Help her out. You got to act it out. Okay, here are your options. A, B, or C. On the count of 3, yell it out. 1, 2, 3. What did you say? B, and he said C. And the correct answer is? 6-5. Keeley's up by 1. How many more do we have? 3 more. All right, 3 more. You got to get back in it. All right, here's the next one. Go. You're only out by 1. Here we go. Look forward. Don't cheat. Act it out. Okay, all right. So here are your options. A, B, or C. Look at them. On the count of 3, tell me your answers. 1, 2, 3. Both said C. Both said C. The correct answer is? She said C. The correct answer is C. So it's 7-6. Okay, 2 more. You got to get back in it, Max. You got a shot. You got a shot. All right, here we go. Next one. Okay, come on. I wish the camera was pointed this way. It's so good. All right, here are your options. Turn around and look at your options. A, B, or C. Okay, on the count of 3. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Both said A. Both said A. The correct answer is A. Okay, you need this one. You need her to miss this one to get a tie, to force a tie. Here we go. Last one. So good. So good. All right. Here are your options. A, B, or C. Take a look at them. Tell me your answer on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. She said B. He said C. You said C? Are you sure? I heard B. Okay, all right. It's church. We're going to take her to work. The correct answer is C. Keeley is the winner. Make some noise for Dean Keeley. Come see me after service. I'll give you a prize. Make some noise for them. Wait. Don't do Paraphrase. Why? You're okay. All right. Okay. Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Matt. I'm the youth pastor here. I'm so glad you guys came this morning. It's awesome to see all you guys. It's a big group. This morning, we're going to skip past. Oh, if you're new, if this is your first time with us, make sure you fill out a welcome card, take it to the cafe. You'll get a free drink. Remember, if you ever invite someone to church and they come with you, and it's okay to invite a friend here, if you take them, have them fill out a welcome card, take it to the cafe, they get a free drink, you get a free drink, they get a small prize, everybody wins. So invite a friend. It'd be rad if you did that. Next one, we're going to skip the next one and go straight to The Landing. The Landing is a group that meets Tuesdays, 6:30 to 8:30. This is a group for students who are dealing with hurts, habits, and hang-ups. If you're dealing with junk in your life, whether it's like emotional stuff or addictions or other things, anything, it could be any hurt, habit, or hang-up that you're dealing with, we'd love to help walk you through it so that you can learn how to live the best possible life that God wants for you. That's every Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30. Come hang out with us, and we'll do that. Next is if you got stuff going on, and I know there's a bunch of seniors, got some graduations coming up in a few months, and I've already got some of those calendared. If you've got a show or a play or a band or a concert or a sports game, if you've got something coming up, there's paper at the back of the room. Fill out a little piece of paper. Just put your name, what it is, when it is, and where, and post it to the corkboard. We'll do the best we can to fill it into our schedule and come watch you do what you do. I'd love to check that out. So make sure you post it up there. Next, we have a few spots left. I got one J High spot and 12 high school spots left for Hume Lake. 12 high school spots. One J High spot. So if you are interested, we still have room. The other thing, hang on, wait. The other thing I want to tell you is I've set aside, so that doesn't count my scholarship spots. Every year I budget so that I will cover the entire cost of camp for 2 high schoolers and 2 J Hires. Now I've given away 1 high school spot. That means I've still got 1 free spot for one of your friends, someone who's unchurched or other churched. If you know someone, they don't necessarily even they shouldn't go here, actually. They should be, someone who maybe hasn't heard of Jesus or the Bible yet, and you think that they would love to come to camp with us. Let me know who they are, why you think they should, be awarded the scholarship, and, maybe talk to them first, make sure they're interested in it, and I'd love to give those out. Like I said, 2 for J High. I've still got 1 for high school. I'd love to give those out to your friends. So, Hume Lake sign-ups on the website. If you haven't done it yet, sign up. It's wrapped. Baptisms. We did last month, it was last month, January. We did baptism right here in this room, and I'd love to help you guys take the next step in your faith. If you have put your faith and trust in Jesus as your Savior, but you haven't taken the next step of making a public proclamation of that faith, I'd love to talk to you about what that means, what that looks like, and schedule, to set the baptismal up in here and have you baptized right here in front of your family and friends. If you're interested in that, if you want more information about that, come see me after service, and I'd love to talk through that with you. Next one is Compassion International. Now, we take an offering in here every week. That black box at the back of the room, you can drop your offering in there, and I know I'm working on it, trying to find a way that we can do this electronically. I haven't found a way yet. There should be a way. It's not a restraint on your side. It's one on our side, and I'm trying to pave the way that we can do electronic offering for you guys here and students too. But the money we collect goes to Compassion International. They use it to support our 3 compassion kids, Ian, Saw, and Wildy. And it's, they're desperately poor. They live in a third world nation, and they need our help. So I just ask that you pray every week, God, how much do you want me to give? And whatever number God puts on your heart, just be faithful with that every single week so that we can be a blessing to these kids here. I'm going to have the worship team come up on stage, and they're going to lead us in a couple of songs of worship. Then we're going to have a great message. I'm speaking to high school today, so I hope you're stoked about that. We got Josh talking to J High, so it's going to be an amazing day. Why don't you guys stand up, get ready for worship. Here we go. She was on vacation.
there's a little box at the bottom. There's a little box at the bottom, and if you cross that off, then only Matt will get it. And you can put it in the black box at the end of the room on your way out. so thankful for everything you've done. So, I love you so much. And I love you.
Of our annual series where we're talking about dating, sex, and relationships. So if you are in 9th, 7th, or 8th grade, 8th, 7th, or 9th, 7th, 8th, or 9th, or any combination of those, please stand up right now. If you're in 7th, 8th, or 9th grade, stand up, and you are going to follow Sandy out the door, around into the 500 room, and you're going to get a message by Josh this morning. And you guys get me. All right. Go ahead and roll the bumper. Need the computer volume on? There you go. There they are. All right. Hey, high school, what's up? This is kind of cool, right? Kind of cool having just the high school together. And for like all of my seniors, you guys won't get the benefit of this so much, but I'll give you a fast forward in time. That room that Jay High's in right now, over the course of this coming year, so hopefully by fall, that's going to be built out into a new high school room. And we're going to actually split Jay High and high school. So Jay High will have this room. High school is going to get that room, so that where the game room is, the closet from the cafe, the yellow couch room, that's all going to get blown out into one big space for high school. We're going to make, you guys been to Slackwater? They have those roll-up glass garage doors. We're going to put 2 of those in. We're going to have outdoor space with a big gazebo and a built-in fire pit and an amphitheater, kind of make it this indoor-outdoor space for high school. Well, I'm telling, but wait. Here's why I'm telling you that. Because while you seniors, you guys will be moving on and you won't be here to experience it, and I'm sorry for that. What you can do is kind of be a part of that, right? And remember when we read the senior retreat, we talked about like leaving a legacy and like how do you leave a mark on this youth group, and that's like a place where I'm going to invite you guys into it, whether that's like knocking down walls, or I know some of you guys have a great time just like destroying stuff, swinging a sledgehammer, but it's like you guys can be a part of preparing that space for the next group behind you, and that'd be kind of a cool legacy for you to leave. So I just plant that seed. I want you to know about that. Today we're talking though, and this then will be like the normal. We'll have a high school group that gets a message, and we'll have a J High group that gets a message specifically for where they're at. That's kind of where my mind was at when I shared that with you. Today we're closing up the one, and I just want to share a story. When I was in 10th grade, I was in California where I grew up. Just like here, it was my first year in high school. And if you know my story at all, if you've been around, you know that I'm the youngest of 3 kids, right? My brother is a year older than me, and my sister a year older than him. So, like, I get into high school, and I'm going to the same school as my brother and my sister, and that was kind of cool. And if you know my story, you also know that I wasn't exactly the most popular kid, right? I was more kind of on the geeky side, but I really wanted to be popular, and maybe some of you can relate to that. In 10th grade, like I wanted this so bad, like I'm thinking this is a new start, it's a fresh change, it's an opportunity to kind of reinvent myself. In 10th grade, I changed my friend group. I changed how I dressed, how I wore my hair. I was like, I was doing everything to reinvent myself so that I could become this person that I wanted to be. And homecoming comes around. We were just talking about dances earlier. So homecoming comes around, and like my new group of friends, they all start talking about homecoming dance and who, if anyone, they're going to go with, who they're going to ask. And I'm like, yeah, I got nothing. Like, I got no self-confidence. I got no self-esteem. But remember, my brother goes there too, right? And my brother was kind of a jock. He played basketball, and he was Mr. Popular on campus. He goes to school. His best friend has a sister who's in my grade. And you start rolling your eyes going, oh, you're going to get set up with your brother's best friend's sister? Yeah, because she was kind of hot. Right? Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I got no pride. So my brother asked, he says, would you consider taking Andrea? Would you consider taking Andrea? You got to say it right. Like, it's not Andrea, it's Andrea. So that's how she pronounced it. I'm not making this up. Would you consider taking Andrea to the dance? And I'm like, duh, of course. Yeah, I'll take Andrea. And like, so I look at Andrea, and she's one of these girls that I would never even get close to, right? I'm talking like way out of my league, right? So my brother introduces us, and like we talk for a few times, like about what colors we're gonna wear, and like all that stuff. In the meantime, like little old me, little 10th grade me is just falling in love. Oh, I love Andrea. And I'm thinking, this is it. Like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Like, I'm going to take this hot girl to homecoming. We're going to become like this school power couple. Like, I've finally shaken off my geeky past, right? Like, this is the pathway forward. Clearly. How could it not be? Right? Well, the day the dance arrives, like, I went all out. Like, I'm, like, saving my pennies, and, like, I rent this limo. And it picks me up, and it takes me over to her house, and we do the whole corsage boutonniere thing. We like pose for pictures with her parents, and then we're off, right? I'm thinking, this is the start, here we go. And we go, she wanted to go to dinner at like this fancy French restaurant. And you ever eat at like a real French restaurant, like a real fancy French restaurant? I know nothing about French food. I'm looking at this menu going, I don't even know what these words mean. I don't, there's no cheeseburger on there. There's no French fries. You think it would have been there. True story, it's not. They don't serve those. And I'm like struggling to find something on the menu that I can figure out exactly what it is. I ended up with like some scallops or something, and I wasn't a fan. Like, she thought it was the greatest restaurant ever. I'm walking away going, maybe not. We finished dinner, and we head over to the dance. And about halfway through the dance, I find myself standing alone. Yeah. I'm all alone at the side of the room. She's like run off with her friends, and she's left me by myself. So needless to say, like, there's no great power couple moment. There's no feeling of arrived. I wasn't named homecoming king. Just sadness. Just sadness and this disappointment. Man, I went right back there for a minute. But see, I share that story because at some point, most of us have probably been in a similar position. Maybe not as like soul-shakingly bad as that. But like, we have a crush on someone who didn't return the feeling, and then we're felt rejected, disappointed, or sad. Maybe that was a crush you had, like, it didn't even have to be in high school. Maybe it was one you had, like, in kindergarten. Maybe you're living through it right now. Or maybe this isn't about a specific person, but maybe you just feel this way about dating in general, right? And this may not be true of everyone in the room, and that's okay. But for some of you, it feels like it's easy for anybody to get a date except you. Or maybe you feel like everybody cares about getting a date and you just aren't that interested in dating right now. Or maybe ever. It's like, I can't ever imagine myself dating. See, whether you're choosing to be dateless or not, sometimes being on the outside of this dating culture can feel lonely. And there are so many emotions that come with the letdown of not dating and wanting to, or getting turned down by somebody else. See, nothing about this whole dating thing is easy. It's filled with complications. And in this series, we've been talking about dating and that idea that we have all heard about finding the one, right? Like, you hear this all the time. You got to find the right one. But maybe not like the forever one right now. Maybe you're just looking for that one, who we really want to be our one right now. In this moment, it was Andrea. Even though statistics tell us that most high schoolers aren't in a relationship right now. Does that shock you? Does that surprise you? Statistically, most high schoolers aren't even in a relationship right now. And I don't know if it's COVID or pandemic-like related or if it's just things have shifted, but that's the majority of high schoolers. Even if you've never been in a relationship, or you're not in one right now, or you're not interested in being in one right now, right? Somehow dating still feels like it's kind of a big deal, right? It still feels like it's a big deal. And it's because of the idea of being more than friends brings a lot of emotions and feelings with it. And feelings are a powerful thing that can mess with our head, right? It messes with our perspective. It can be overwhelming. In fact, King Solomon, one of the most famous kings in Israel, wrote something that speaks to just that in the book of Proverbs. Here's what he says, Proverbs 17:22. He says, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. And that seems kind of morbid, but I think back to my first homecoming. The medicine that I thought I needed, right? The thing that would cure my insecurity, it would get rid of my loneliness, it would help all my feelings, was this relationship. And more specifically, it was a relationship with that one particular person that would fix everything. And maybe you feel that same way. But Solomon says something different. He says, a cheerful heart is the cure. A cheerful heart is the path forward. In other words, a sense of joy is the cure and the medicine to feeling down. He didn't say the answer to having complicated, hurt, or disappointed feelings is found in perfect life circumstances and getting what you want, including a relationship. And then the second half of the verse goes on to say, a crushed spirit dries up the bones. A broken spirit can crush you and wear you out. It's like more than having a bad day or feeling bummed. A crushed spirit is letting a bad day or week become like your way of life. The word crushed captures it perfectly. It refers to this feeling of being weighed down by unhappiness because of life circumstances. It's seeing life through your difficulty and allowing your perspective to be controlled by what isn't going well. It's that crushing weight, right? It's a great word picture. But whether you're feeling cheerful or crushed, I think what Solomon is saying is this. He's saying how you feel on the inside never just stays on the inside. Eventually, it seeps out into the rest of your life, right? Our feelings don't just stay inside. What we're feeling eventually comes out and affects the rest of our life. See, chances are some of you guys can relate. Some of you have noticed that your dating life or lack of dating life is affecting the way you feel about everything. And you wish you had a cheerful heart, like Solomon says, but how? How do I have a cheerful heart? How do I even make that a thing? It's not like you can suddenly be thrilled that you're single. It's, yeah, I've been rejected again. Perfect. Oh, so many of my anxieties are coming out. It's not like you cannot care that you just went through a breakup. It's not like you can just turn your feelings off and choose just to be happy. It's not like you can deny how you feel and pretend that everything is totally fine. Maybe you've heard your parents say something to you and don't raise your hands, just in your mind, think, have your parents ever said this to you? You just need to change your attitude. Oh, somebody said, somebody's parents have said that. You just need to change your attitude. Or maybe even worse. This one was even worse. This is so condescending. My mom used to say it. Hey, cheer up, kiddo. What? Cheer up, kiddo. And then you're wondering, is that even something people can do? Can I control my emotions to the point where I'm just man, Andrea left me alone at the dance. But I'm just going to cheer up. That doesn't happen. And who says kiddo anymore? Who even does that? Actually, a lot of the writers who contribute to the Bible seem to think that there is a part that we can play when it comes to choosing a cheerful heart. Over and over, in different times, places, and circumstances, the writer of Scriptures say things like, rejoice. They say things like, be glad, or be of good cheer. And I imagine like their original audience thought things like you and I do. They probably wondered things like, is that even possible? Like, can I rejoice? Can I be of good cheer? Like, how does someone actually change how they feel when the life that they're experiencing is really, really hard? And one of the times we see this is in a letter that the Apostle Paul wrote to the church in Philippi. You guys know, we talk about Paul all the time. He was one of the most influential leaders in the history of the Christian church. He wrote letters to the churches. He started, one of those letters is a book of the Bible that we now call Philippians. So this is from that letter to the church in Philippi. And towards the end of his letter, Paul says this, Philippians 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always. I'll say it again. Rejoice. And another translation says, be full of joy. Right? Now, before you start thinking this is just something that, you would find like in a Christian greeting card, like, hey, rejoice always. You need to know what life was like for people in Philippi that Paul wrote this letter to. Christians around this time of history weren't being full of joy. It wasn't easy. They faced persecution, danger, potentially being harmed or even killed simply because they believed and followed the ways of Jesus. And yet Paul calls them to rejoice. And then continues by reminding his readers of some of the things that they can do, that they can make happen. He talks about treating people well. He talks about prayer and being grateful for all the good things that they had. Then he says something that I think could be a game changer for you, especially if dating or anything else has you bummed out. Paul finishes this way. He says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Think about such things. Basically, Paul is saying that what you think about matters, right? Having a cheerful heart and not having a crushed spirit are both connected to what we think about. They're not simply affected by our outward circumstances, right? Like whether we're dating or not dating. Our feelings follow our thoughts, not the other way around, right? Now, I realize comparing rejection or difficulty with dating to like first century danger and persecution. It's kind of a stretch. I'll admit that. But here's why I think this connects to what you and I feel today. It's because we all face circumstances and hardships that can take up all of our attention, right? Challenging events like a breakup or a crush who ditches you at a dance, or just the way dating can consume everyone's attention when you aren't even that interested. It can take up all of our time, all of our energy, and completely change our mood. That's understandable because it can feel like being crushed, as Solomon mentioned. And that's why it's important to point out what Paul isn't saying. He isn't saying to ignore your feelings. He isn't saying that the disappointment of rejection is nothing compared to what the early Christians went through. Paul isn't saying just suck it up. He isn't like trying to talk you out of what feels really difficult at the time. Paul is saying that no matter what kind of difficulty you're going through, the feelings that you have don't have to become your whole world. You don't have to let it become everything and the only thing that you think about. And this is good news because it means that we have a lot more control than we think. It doesn't mean that our circumstances or our experiences don't bother us, but we have the power to decide that it's not the only thing that we'll think about. We have the power to choose what we think about. We don't have to let the things that disappoint us or frustrate us or dominate our thoughts, right? A bad moment doesn't have to turn into a bad mood, a bad day, or a bad week, or what feels like a bad life, right? We have the option to choose what we think about. See, just because part of your life makes you unhappy, even if it's an important part, doesn't mean that all of your life is bad. Paul is telling us to make a shift in how we think, right? Why? Because when we don't change the way we think, we lose perspective. Right? If we stay stuck in those bad feels, in that sour mood, if all we're thinking about is Andrea leaving me at the dance, like I get this gloom that kind of hangs over my entire life if I let it dominate my thinking. And that loss of perspective takes away our power and it gives it to our circumstances. And before we know it, our circumstances crush our spirit. And we end up like Solomon said, we end up like dried bones. And when we say perspective, what we mean is this. Perspective is how you see in a situation. A lost perspective means we take what feels bad right now in one part of our lives and make it the way we see everything all the time. Anybody do that? Don't raise your hand. Like we all do that at some point. Like, something bad happens and like our mood gets down and then we just see everything is terrible. My life sucks. Everything is terrible. All my friends are bad. And like it just multiplies and spirals out of control. But the amazing thing is your perspective doesn't just happen. You get to choose it. You can choose your perspective on life. It's like anybody here like the phrase viewing life through rose-colored glasses? You ever hear that? Do you know what that means? So it's like if I had, you've seen like rose-tinted glasses, right? They're kind of that rose gold. Like if I put those on, I see everything kind of rose-colored. And like people associate that with, hey, that's a great thing. But if I take those rose-colored glasses off and I put on like real dark lenses, I see everything through this dim, this darkness, this sour. And if I change those glasses like with every mood and let that dictate how I feel, then I'm letting my circumstances control me. See, feelings and emotions have this way of coloring how we experience life. Like you wake up one day feeling sad or angry, and so the day starts and continues with that feeling. You've got those dark, gloomy glasses on through the entire day. Or maybe you're going through your day and remember something amazing that's going to happen tomorrow, and then you switch out the dark, gloomy, and you put those rose-tinted ones on, and then you're excited for the rest of the day. See, feelings have a way of just showing up. However, there's a better way to live than just riding with your feelings. Feelings are good, they're natural, but they don't have to control your life. As your feelings show up, you can decide the impact that they're going to have on your day. You get to decide that. You can decide where you put your focus. The point is, every day, you get to pick your perspective. You get to choose which pair of glasses you're going to wear on that day. You don't have to allow feelings to be in control of how you experience life. So if you wake up and like things are bad, you can choose not to focus on the bad thing and instead look forward to better days ahead. And let that impact, that raise your spirit. You can be having a terrible day and remember something great that's going to happen tomorrow and look forward to that event to lift your spirit, right? In other words, you pick your perspective. You get to choose it. Like, listen to me. It's okay to want to date. It's even okay to be frustrated by it. Let me tell you something else. It's okay to not want to date and to feel separate from those people that do. But it doesn't have to be the main thing that you focus on. When it feels like it's the thing that determines your perspective, it's probably best to take a step back, right? It's time to pick a new perspective. And then that doesn't mean you're going to suddenly feel different, but it does mean that you can decide to control what you can. And your attention, your focus, and your view of the situation is completely in your control. That's something all of us can control. The truth is, no circumstances, dating or otherwise, is going to give you the cheerful heart that you want. You're also not stuck with a crushed spirit, though, just because things aren't going the way you want it to in your dating life. You can change your attitude. You can focus on something more important because there's so much more happening in your life. There's so much more going on in your world. There's so much more going on in your mind. Sometimes it just takes a little effort to remind ourselves of that. So let's practice for a second. I want to go back to what Paul wrote, and I want to take some cues from him. And you don't have to answer out loud, but just answer these questions in your mind, okay? First thing, answer this in your mind. What negative thing has your full attention right now? What negative thing going on in your life has your full attention right now? It's that thing, it's just that nagging thing that you keep coming back to. What is that negative thing in your life right now? How do you feel about that? Why is it important to you? Just picture that thing. What is that negative thing? How do you feel about it? And why is it important? Now, before I move forward, I want to remind you that it's important to feel your feelings. All of them. Even the ones that aren't fun to feel. And here's the good news. Being able to name your not so fun feelings allows you to see that difficult things and joyful things can exist at the same time. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can have fun feelings and bad feelings exist in your mind all at the same time. Yeah, you might have all sorts of feelings around that negative circumstance that has your focus, but there is more to life than just that. Like the church in Philippi, you can go through difficult things and you can still have joy. You can be disappointed in how dating is going, but still pay attention to the other areas of your life that are pretty good. Right? Chances are there's some things in your life that are going on right now that are pretty good. It's not all bad. In fact, I want to show you what I mean. I want to ask you a few more questions. But before doing that, let me remind you of this. No matter what your dating status is or what you want it to be, you are a whole person just the way you are. Like you don't need anyone else to make you complete. You are not incomplete. You are not lacking. You are not less than. You are not just killing time until the right person comes along, right? You are a complete person. You are enough just the way you are. And when you pick that perspective to start from, no matter what the dating reality is you're dealing with, you are far less likely to live with a crushed spirit. Now, to help kickstart the process of picking a better perspective, let me ask you a few more questions. Answer them in your mind. What is one thing going really well in your life right now? What's one thing that's going really well right now? Who is one person that you're grateful for? What's one talent you're glad that you have? What's one thing that you're proud of yourself for? What's one thing God has done that makes you thankful? Chances are you can't answer all of those right now. I didn't give you a lot of time, but we're running out of time. But I'll bet one or two answers came to mind. As I asked those, something popped into your head that's positive or a great place to be. So some really good things are happening in your world right now. So in the words of the Apostle Paul, think about such things, those good things, those positive things, those blessings that are in your life, and let your mind stay there. Right? It doesn't mean that you ignore difficult things or challenging things with dating in your life or in general. It just means that your focus changes. And as your focus changes, you just might find yourself feeling better about the dating scene because it's in its proper perspective now, right? Like, what would your life look like if you were living with a hopeful perspective, even when you don't feel like it? Like, this is bigger than dating, right? There are all sorts of things throughout life that might tempt you to stay frustrated or angry. But when things aren't necessarily going the way you want, I want you to know that you have more power than you think you do. Your dating circumstances and life circumstances might change throughout high school as you go through. You can't control that. But you can control how you respond. You pick your perspective. Take it from Solomon, the wisest king that ever lived. Your heart is too important to leave in this broken place. But a simple change in where you focus can make all the difference in the world. Would you pray with me? Father God, thank you so much for this time and this place, Lord. We thank you for your word and the examples we find within it. God, I pray that you would be with these high schoolers in the days and weeks to come as they navigate this tricky dating scene. God, when life isn't going exactly as they want, help them to remember to focus on things that are good, that their thoughts would turn to the good things in their life, that they would have a hopeful spirit and not a crushed one. God, we love you so much. We thank you for this time and this place. Pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks for coming. Thanks for paying attention. You guys are out of here.